June 17, 2016. The Western Grand Canyon bakes under a merciless sun. An excessive heat warning blankets northern Arizona. Temperatures climb past 110 degrees. Three hikers prepare for an ambitious 9-day trek across one of the most isolated stretches of wilderness in America. 4:45 p.m. The group decides to split up temporarily. They need to get around a hill near Kelly Tank. Two hikers go over the top. One chooses to walk around the base. They agree to meet on the other side. It's supposed to take 20 minutes. Floyd Roberts III never reaches that meeting point. The 52-year-old experienced hiker vanishes in the time it takes to microwave dinner. No shouts for help, no distress signals, just scorching heat and silence. 9 years later, his family still has no answers. This is his story. Floyd Roberts III came from Treasure Island, Florida. At 52 years old, he stood 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighed 170 pounds, and had brown-gray hair with brown eyes. Friends described him as intelligent and adventurous. He'd worked for NASA before becoming a teacher, which meant he understood planning, systems, and careful preparation. Floyd wasn't the type to take foolish risks. He researched his trips. He packed the right gear. He understood wilderness hiking. In mid-June 2016, Floyd joined his friend Ned Bryant and Ned's daughter Madeline for what they expected to be an incredible adventure. They planned a 9-day hike through the remote Shivwits Plateau in western Grand Canyon. The route would take them down to the Colorado River through Separation Canyon. This wasn't a tourist walk along paved trails. This was serious backcountry, hiking through one of the most isolated areas in the lower 48 states. Floyd packed meticulously. He wore a red long-sleeved shirt to protect against sun exposure, blue denim jeans, colorful mesh Nike-free sneakers. A large blue low alpine contour backpack held his gear for the week. White-trimmed sunglasses with orange lenses shielded his eyes from the brutal glare. He carried food, water, and everything he'd need for 9 days in the desert. The three hikers arrived at their starting point near Kelly Tank on Friday afternoon, June 17th. The National Weather Service had issued an excessive heat warning for the region. Temperatures exceeded 110 degrees. Most sensible people would have postponed, but the trio believed they were prepared. They'd start late in the afternoon to avoid the worst heat. They had water. They had experience. At 4:45 p.m., they began their trek. 30 minutes later, Floyd Roberts vanished. The Shivwits Plateau stretches across the extreme western edge of Grand Canyon National Park, bleeding into the Grand Canyon Parachute National Monument. This isn't the Grand Canyon you've seen in photographs. No gift shops, no crowds taking selfies, no helicopter tours flying overhead. This is the Grand Canyon that tourists never see. The dangerous one. The plateau sits at roughly 7,000 feet elevation. From there, the land plunges down through a labyrinth of canyons until it reaches the Colorado River at around 1,000 feet. That's more than a mile of vertical descent. The route down weaves through tight canyons choked with brush, over loose rock that shifts under your boots, and along cliff edges that drop hundreds of feet. Cell phone coverage. Non-existent. The canyon walls create dead zones where your phone becomes nothing but dead weight. If you get into trouble out here, you're on your own. The heat adds another layer of danger. June 17, 2016, brought an excessive heat warning from the National Weather Service. Temperatures soared past 110 degrees. At those temperatures, your body sweats furiously trying to cool down. You can lose 2 gallons of water per day just standing in the shade. Start hiking with a heavy pack. That number doubles. The terrain makes everything harder. Dense brush limits your visibility to just a few yards in places. You can't see what's ahead until you're right on top of it. Cliff faces appear suddenly, blocking routes that looked promising from a distance. Getting turned around takes seconds. Finding your way back. That can take hours or days. Wildlife poses additional threats. Rattlesnakes hide in the shade under rocks and bushes. Scorpions come out at dusk. Mountain lions hunt the area, though attacks are rare. The Grand Canyon has claimed hundreds of lives over the decades. Some victims fall from cliffs. Others succumb to heat stroke. A few simply vanish, leaving behind nothing but questions and cold cases. Floyd Roberts was about to join that list. 4:45 p.m. The three hikers reached a hill along their route near Kelly Tank. They faced a choice: go over the top or walk around the base. Ned Bryant and his daughter Madeline decided to climb straight over. Floyd looked at the hill and made a different calculation. He'd contour around the base. Less climbing meant less energy expenditure in 110-degree heat. It made sense. The group agreed to meet on the other side. Floyd set off one direction. Ned and Madeline went another. Nobody was worried. The hill wasn't massive. The detour wouldn't take long. They'd planned a 9-day hike together. This was just a temporary split that would last maybe 20 or 30 minutes. Ned and Madeline reached the meeting point. They waited. Floyd didn't appear. They waited longer. Still nothing. Concern turned to alarm. Ned and Madeline retraced their steps back toward the vehicle. Maybe Floyd had gotten confused and returned to the starting point. But when they reached the road, Floyd wasn't there either. They shouted his name. The canyon swallowed their voices. They searched the immediate area as the sun dropped toward the horizon. Nothing. Here's what makes this so baffling. Floyd carried enough supplies for 9 days. He had water. He had food. He was dressed appropriately for the conditions. The group had split up for less than an hour in total. How do you lose someone that fast? Ned and Madeline faced a terrible choice as darkness fell. They could keep searching at night and risk getting lost themselves, or they could camp and resume at first light. They chose to wait for dawn. Floyd didn't appear at sunrise. He didn't appear that morning. By afternoon, Ned and Madeline hiked to an area with cell phone coverage. At approximately 3 p.m. on Saturday, June 18th, they called the National Park Service. 22 hours had passed since anyone had seen Floyd Roberts alive. In 110-degree heat, those 22 hours might as well have been 22 days. The National Park Service takes missing persons seriously. Within hours of the call, they mobilized resources for an intensive search operation. Saturday afternoon, about 15 searchers deployed into the Shivwits Plateau area. Tracking dogs accompanied the teams, their sensitive noses designed to pick up human scent even in harsh conditions. The dogs worked the area around Kelly Tank where Floyd was last seen. Sunday brought an escalation. 7 ground search teams spread across the remote plateau. A National Park Service helicopter took to the air, crisscrossing the terrain from above. The helicopter gave searchers a crucial advantage in the rugged landscape, allowing them to scan areas that would take ground teams hours to reach on foot. Multiple agencies contributed personnel. Grand Canyon Parish National Monument sent teams. Mohave County contributed resources. The Grand Canyon National Park Search and Rescue Unit coordinated all efforts, with additional support from Coconino County Search and Rescue. Searchers established a base camp near Kelly Tank. They set up shade shelters and water stations. The same heat that threatened Floyd now threatened the rescuers. Teams could only work in short shifts before the 110-degree temperatures forced them back to shade and water. The search covered an enormous area. More than 10 square miles of some of the most brutal terrain in North America. Ground teams focused on the corridor between Kelly Tank and Trail Canyon, particularly around 214-mile Canyon and the Shanley Spring area near the river. Floyd's last known direction of travel suggested he might have descended into 209-mile Canyon. Searchers found footprints, but they couldn't definitively determine if the prints belonged to Floyd. In the rocky, sandy terrain, prints could have been left by other hikers days or weeks earlier. Without clear confirmation, the prints led nowhere. The helicopter crews searched canyon bottoms, cliff faces, and areas of dense brush. They found nothing. No backpack, no scattered gear, no signs of a struggle or fall. For 6 intense days, teams worked from dawn to dusk. They checked every reasonable location Floyd might have reached. They searched unreasonable locations too, places no hiker should have gone but might have stumbled into while disoriented. On June 24th, the search changed status. After 6 days with no sign of Floyd, the operation scaled back. The official term is continuous limited mode. That's bureaucratic language for what everyone understood. Unless new evidence surfaced, the active search was over. Floyd Roberts III had vanished. What happened to Floyd Roberts in those critical moments after he split from his companions? Several theories attempt to explain how an experienced hiker could disappear so completely. Theory 1. Heat stroke caused rapid disorientation. At 110 degrees, heat stroke doesn't announce itself gradually. Early symptoms include confusion, dizziness, and severely impaired judgment. Floyd might have felt fine one moment and completely disoriented the next. In that confused state, he could have thought he was walking toward the meeting point while actually heading deeper into the canyon system. As his condition worsened, he might have wandered miles off course before collapsing in a drainage or canyon that searchers never checked. The dense brush throughout the area would have easily hidden his body from helicopter searches overhead. Theory 2. Floyd encountered an unexpected cliff and fell. The terrain around the Shivwits Plateau is deceptive. Routes that look passable from a distance often end at sheer drop-offs. One investigator of similar cases described finding evidence that a lost hiker had spent hours searching for a way down, only to become trapped on a cliff face with no route up or down, eventually dying within sight of the river below. Floyd might have tried to descend quickly into one of the canyons, reached a point of no return, and fallen hundreds of feet. His body could be at the bottom of a cliff in a location searchers couldn't see or access. Theory 3. Floyd sought shelter from extreme heat and couldn't exit. When people suffer from severe heat exhaustion, their bodies desperately seek shade. Floyd might have crawled into a cave, squeezed under a rock overhang, or pushed deep into dense brush to escape the sun. If he lost consciousness in one of those locations, searchers could have walked within 20 feet of him without seeing him through the vegetation or rock formations. The helicopter would have had no chance of spotting him. Theory 4. The Colorado River became a fatal attraction. Floyd was last seen heading toward Trail Canyon and 214-mile canyon in the Shanley Spring area, possibly descending toward 209-mile canyon. From certain vantage points on the plateau, the Colorado River is visible far below. If Floyd was desperate for water or believed the river represented safety, he might have attempted a rapid descent. The route down could have taken him through impassable terrain where he became trapped, unable to go forward or back. He might still be somewhere on that impossible cliff face. Theory 5. Floyd's preparation was inadequate for the specific dangers he faced. Despite his NASA background and teaching experience, Floyd may have underestimated the Western Grand Canyon's unique hazards. This might explain why he felt comfortable splitting from the group for what seemed like a brief detour. By the time he realized his navigation error, he was already lost. Panic in extreme heat can drive poor decisions. Each bad choice compounds the previous one until you're miles from where you should be. The most likely scenario probably combines multiple factors. Floyd became disoriented from heat exhaustion within the first hour. His decision to take a different route around the hill put him alone in an area with limited visibility due to dense brush. As temperatures climbed and confusion set in, he likely descended toward the visible river below, seeking water and relief from the heat. Somewhere in that descent, he either fell from a cliff, became trapped in terrain he couldn't escape, or collapsed in a location searchers couldn't access or see from the air. His body remains there today, hidden by rock, brush, or the simple vastness of the canyon system. Floyd Roberts isn't the only person to vanish in the Western Grand Canyon. the area has developed a disturbing pattern of disappearances. Morgan Heimer, a 22-year-old river guide with extensive experience, disappeared on June 2, 2015, around Colorado River Mile 213 near Pumpkin Springs. He was 6 days into an 8-day river trip. Despite intensive searches by teams who knew exactly where to look, no trace of Morgan was ever found. His case remains in continuous limited mode today. Drake Kramer, just 21 years old, vanished on January 31, 2015, also near Colorado River Mile 213. Drake was believed to be suicidal, which added another tragic dimension to his disappearance. Searchers found no evidence of what happened to him. 3 people gone from essentially the same area within 18 months. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. The Grand Canyon as a whole has over 56 cold case missing persons investigations. Adam Clayton Lyle Jones, 23 years old, was last seen by family in Gulf Breeze, Florida on March 31, 2011. His vehicle turned up at the Grand Canyon Visitor Center on the South Rim in May 2011. Nobody knows how the car got there or where Adam went. Jong Hyun-won, 45 years old, left his white Toyota Camry at Moran Point on the South Rim in September 2017. The vehicle had previously been seen near the New Hants trailhead. Jong Hyun had no known plans in the area. He simply vanished. Other national parks share similar statistics. Yosemite has numerous cold cases. Great Smoky Mountains has more. But the Grand Canyon's unique combination of extreme heat, vast distances, dangerous terrain, and limited cell coverage creates perfect conditions for people to disappear completely. Some missing persons cases do find resolution, but those resolutions often come decades later. In August 2019, Peter Jackson's backpack was found in the Ackerson Meadow area of Yosemite, 3 years after he disappeared. The discovery didn't lead to Peter's body or answer what happened to him. It just confirmed he'd been in that area. The lessons from these cases are clear but difficult. Never split from your group in extreme conditions. Carry satellite communication devices in areas without cell coverage. Tell multiple people your exact route and expected return time. Postpone trips when heat warnings are issued. And understand that even with perfect preparation, the wilderness can kill you. Floyd Roberts did many things right. He hiked with companions. He carried adequate supplies. He had experience. But one decision, one temporary split from the group in extreme heat was all it took. His case remains classified as a cold case in continuous limited mode. That means the investigation isn't closed. If hikers find evidence, if someone discovers remains, if new information emerges, investigators will respond immediately. But there are no active search operations, no teams combing the canyons, just silence and waiting. Floyd's family in Treasure Island, Florida still searches for answers. They want to know what happened in those crucial minutes. They want closure even if the answer is painful. They want to bring Floyd home. Floyd E. Roberts III remains missing today. Somewhere in the western Grand Canyon, in a place searchers couldn't reach or see, his story ended. His family's story continues without him.